Shalom and welcome to another installment of Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Today's topic is entitled Black Consciousness and Cunningly Devised Fables. Because we're going to go, that whole black consciousness thing and these debates, just gave us a whole new spirit just to stay on them and to go to the foundation of what they're into and to show you that they have no foundation, that they're just talking, they're just making up shit. They're going into books that, that supposedly go back before the Bible. So because it goes before the Bible, that makes it right. I mean, if you're going by that, why don't you keep your old ass black and white TV that your grandmother passed down to your mama? Huh? Why don't you keep your first cell phone, man? Yeah, a big brick that costs $2 a minute. All right? Where's your beepers at? Nobody got a beeper. That's antique. So just because you say there's books that are written, and there's a big question mark on that, there's books that are written before the Bible, doesn't mean that it makes the thing right. The only book of truth is the Bible and the books that back up the Bible. That's right. All right, go ahead.
This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 16. For we have not followed cunningly devised fables, when we made known unto you the power and coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai, but were eyewitnesses of his majesty.
Yeah, that's it. Because we speaking about the power and coming. You have a lot of people that might be critical of us, the Israelites, or critical of the black consciousness movement, or both of us. And your whole thing is, well, what are you doing for black people? What are you doing for the community? We ain't doing a damn thing for the community, man. We're looking to get the hell out of here. And the reason why we go out and do what we do is to wake up the elect of Israel. In other words, we don't wake them up. We push out the word, and the Most High seals them. Okay? Give me Revelation 7. Revelation 7 and start from the top.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Yeah, so that's the seal, man. All right, that's the seal, 144,000. Out of all the tribes of the children of Israel, tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Gad, Reuben, Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, Simeon, Ephraim. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 3 and 6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but the Most High gave the increase. So then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the Most High that giveth the increase.
Yeah, because all we're doing is the will of the Most High. That's all we're doing. Go ahead, Ak.
Ephesians 1 and 13. In whom ye also trusted, after that ye heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, in whom also after ye believed, ye were sealed with that Holy Spirit of promise.
That's
right. Right, you were sealed with the Holy Spirit of promise, because that was a promise that was given to our forefathers. So that promise came, the Lord said that he would make his Abraham's children great. That was that promise that the Lord gave. So that promise trickled down through Abraham, down to Isaac, and down to Jacob. And every seed that came from between Jacob's legs, among the women that he was dealing with, that those children became the children of the promise. Everything that the Lord promised that he would give us would be given to us. So that's how we have the truth, and we have these promises through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And now in these times, those promises are given and revealed in mysteries to the men that are part of the elect of the Lord.
Yeah, I got another one for you. The book of Titus 1:1, it says, Paul, a servant of the Heavenly Father and an apostle of Yahushua, according to the faith of the Heavenly Father's elect, and their not acknowledging of the truth which is after righteousness.
Yep. Now I got another one, Isaiah 30, and start from the 7th verse, and we're going to read down into the 20th verse, maybe even a couple more verses beyond that. So as soon as you get it, go ahead and bring it on out.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 7. It says, For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever. That this is a rebellious people, lying children.
Yeah, let's name some of the rebels. Brother Polite is a rebel. Sarah Suit and Seti is a rebel. Sarnet is a rebel. The Baptists are rebels. The Methodists, the Jehovah's Witness among Israel. The Muslims, Islam. Even there's certain Israelite groups out there that are rebels. All right? And if you don't get your act together, the Most High is going to destroy you. The Most High is about to take this place out, man. The Most High is about to take this place out. And he's going to take out the majority of our people, Israelites, with the destruction. You think this is a damn joke, man. You dumb bird braid niggas going to listen to niggas like that that's going to speak about these books that you can't find anywhere. It's hard for you to find. And then you don't read and find out where the book came from, the history of the book. You know what those guys are good at, man? They're good at going back 7,000 years, and this book is older than the Bible, and this is the ancient writing. But if you ask them to read that writing, a lot of them, for the most part, can't read that writing. But that's what that's what they mastered, man, to play a game of a maze. And then what you do is they'll write a bunch of books. They'll write a bunch of books, and then you read all those books, and then you know a lot about nothing, man. And like Polite's wife, she really embarrassed. She embarrassed Polite by saying that the baffling gland secretes semen and can create her own baby. And she looked at the guy like she had hate for men. We don't need you, Yeah, she's a feminist, man. And then Polite couldn't even come back, because everybody knows that a woman cannot create her own baby. She needs a sperm, and the baffling gland does not create semen. It creates mucus, and mucus is not semen. I don't know if they went up there and told you that, man. And it's good that you're dealing with ISUPK. Continue to deal with those lightweights, man. Because you ain't going to deal with the heavyweights, which are the men of GMS, man. All right? And we still down there. You know where we at. You came down 2 weeks ago. You know where we at. We still on the street. So if you want to come down, come on down, man. We'll give you a hug. We'll say, how you doing, brother? And then we'll proceed to cut all that bullshit that you spewing, man. And now where's Patak in all this, man? Where's the mighty Patak? Where's grimy ass Patak? Oh, and where's Johanna? Oh, Johanna's everybody's father now. You know? Hey, Johanna's everybody's father. The guy the priest that's going to have the debate with Polite. He's saying, yeah, Johanna, he's General Johanna, he's our father. Or he's like our father, and we're like his children. That sounds like damn Jim Jones, man. Because Jim Jones, people, when they would talk to Jim Jones, they would call him dad. Hey, Dad. Isn't that Dad? You know what you're gonna find? Hey, Johanna is a scam artist par excellence. And when he gets, all you guys that are down with Johanna, you're gonna look like stupid asses, guaranteed. Most I ain't dealing with that dude. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew 23 and 9. Excuse me. Excuse me. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. You know, that's what the scriptures say, you know. Call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. So for them to call Johanna their father, they're going off right there in the scripture.
Yeah, and this guy, Polite, to get back to them dudes, him and the rest of them clowns, did nothing but what's called sophists. You know, I said sophist last week. The pronunciation is sophist. Sophist doesn't matter. But there's sophists. It says, this is the definition of the word sophist again. It says, one skilled in elaborate and devious argumentation. Because all it is just words. You know, words being thrown back, different dates that they get from the white man, different information that they get from the white man, thrown together, you know, and to make it sound good. It says, number 2, sophist, any of a group of professional 5th century BC Greek philosophers and teachers who speculated on theology, metaphysics, and the sciences, and who were later characterized by Plato as superficial manipulators of rhetoric and dialect. And that's all you are. You're just manipulators of rhetoric and dialect. You know, like you have them different books or different accounts that you quote from, you know, that's supposedly precede the Bible, which, you know, you had written documents that were written before the Bible, but the Bible is the book that was given to the men of the Lord, you know, because the bottom line, which man was actually alive or was actually looking into the heavens while the heavens and the earth and the trees and the light and all these things were created, and the moon and all that? Which man physically on the earth actually looked up and seen that? Nobody, because man was created on the 5th day. That's why Paul said, matter of fact, if I may, this is the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, real quick. You know, because you guys are basing all this stuff that you're getting basically off the white man, information that he dug up, dates that he's given you. You know, you go on Google, all that stuff you're getting off of Google is stuff that the white man put together. His so-called scholar
gave you. Hey, if it wasn't for the white man, you, especially you, Cyrus Suiton, not ready, you should thank the white man every day, even though you're still lost. Because everything that you go into about the ancient Egyptians, the white man broke it down, man. That name that you call yourself, Cyrus Suiton Seti, all right, that you, when you speak about the different pharaohs, Tutmos the second and Ramesses the first and Ramesses the second and Tutankhamun and all these different people. The white man broke it down, man. Ain't no black man. Dr. Ben didn't break down a damn thing, man. He sat his ass down and he got his notebook out and he took notes when the white man taught him. All those black African studies that are in the white man's universities, all right? You sat down and learned from your God, the white man, okay?
I got a name to back the elder. One of those names from the white man is George Andrew Reisner. Now, George Andrew Reisner, born November 5th, 1867, and died 1942, June 6th, was an American archaeologist of ancient Egypt. All right? And he was also called the foremost authority on ancient Egypt. This guy, George Andrew Reisner.
I thought it was Dr. Ben.
and if you look at him, he's a straight up so-called white man. All right. As a matter of fact, here's his pedigree. All right. He also created a list of Egyptian viceroys of Kush. He found the tomb of Queen Hetepheres I, the mother of King Khufu, Cheops in Greek. who built the great pyramid at Giza. During this time, he also explored Mastabas. Arthur Merton, a fellow member of Cairo Rotary Club, remarked in 1936 in the aftermath of the Abu Tiyu discovery that Reisner enjoys an unrivaled position not only as the outstanding figure in present-day Egyptology. I'm going to read that again. This guy says that Reisner enjoys an unrivaled position, and we can look that word up, unrivaled, not only as the outstanding figure in present-day Egyptology. So this guy is well thought of in the Egyptology circles, this guy George Andrew Reisner, but also as a man whose soundness of judgment and extensive general knowledge are widely conceded. All right, so this is the establishment boy of Egyptology. This guy here, George Andrew Reisner, and when you look at him, he's a so-called white man. So that backs up what Elder Tar said, man.
Yeah, but like the man that broke down the symbols, which they call hieroglyphs and so forth, that broke down all these different symbols, was a man by the name of John Francis Champion. I mean, you can look him up. And the way he broke it down is he had to have gone back to the Greek. He had to have gone to the library in Alexandria, Egypt, named after Alexander the Great. Because what they did when the so-called, by the way, who took down the Egyptians ultimately? It was the Ptolemy dynasty that took down the Egyptians, all right? And they built, during that period of time of the Ptolemies' rulership, they had built a library of all the nations or empires or kingdoms that Alexander the Great and his 4 generals took down. And what they did was they took all the writings and they took and enslaved the translators, man. So how did this guy Champion get the breakdown? Because he probably went to the Rosetta Stone, because the Rosetta Stone, in order for you to understand the so-called Egyptian hieroglyphs, you have to know Greek. And on the Rosetta Stone, you had the top of it. It was written in the Egyptian writings, which the white man calls hieroglyphs. That's the white man's word. And then after that, you line under that, you had the Greeks. So what happened when they took all the writings and books from Egypt, which is Mizraim, all right? Biblically, it's Mizraim. Egypt is a Greek term, and all the other writings. That's why you have museums today. If you go to certain museums, they'll actually have paintings and wall sculptures and writings of these different former kingdoms. Why? Thanks to the library in Alexandria, Egypt. Because they took all their culture, all their books, all their writings, and they translated it into their tongues so they can learn their enemies. All right?
Right. This is John Francis Champollion. It says, was a French scholar, philologist, and Orientalist, decipherer of the Egyptian hieroglyphs.
Now, you can't dig up nothing going back 5,000 years, 6,000 years, 7,000 years. For that matter, 50,000 years, and dig up something, or dig up a structure, and all of a sudden there's symbols on it, and all of a sudden you know what the symbols mean. You have to have a reference point. So this guy right here, this Edomite, this white man, had a reference point to break it down. He didn't just look at the symbols and said this means that and this means this. Because I can write a symbol and say, what does that mean? And you would never figure it out in a million years unless I told it to you or I told somebody else and that person told you, man. So how was Ptolemy Soter able to get the Egyptian writing? Because he conquered Egypt. He took slaves. He said, look, what does this mean? What did that mean? Now, if the people that he enslaved said, I'm not going to answer you, what did they do? They tortured your ass, man. Go ahead.
It says Champollion published the first translation of the Rosetta Stone hieroglyphs in 1822, showing that the Egyptian writing system was a combination of phonetic and ideographic signs. So basically, all you got your information from Esau, the white man. All right.
But we don't even know that it's true.
Right. Yeah. Well,
that's just
that's just a theory.
Go on. There's a picture of Champollion's grave, and it's marked by an obelisk. So you know what that means.
Secretly worship Egypt.
Yeah, that means, and also he's a Mason, and the Masons were set up to what? To deceive. They weren't set up to teach.
He could have been a front man, you know.
Yeah,
he could have been a figurehead, man.
And it's interesting. He came on the scene around 1790. That's around the time.
Contemporary with
Rothschild.
Well, he was also contemporary with this guy Napoleon.
Mm.
He was contemporary with Napoleon and the Rothschilds.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the Rothschilds had a hand in financing this guy. So, you know, yeah, man.
But that's what they do. That's what they do. You know, all they do is just set up certain guys. Because, see, you got to understand that once the so-called white man conquered, his way is going to be what's right. Because why? Because he's in power.
That's right.
You know, so that's why they have what's known as gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are the ones that keep information out and keep information in. Whatever you see out there in the public food system or whatever is out there in the open, that's the stuff they allow to get out there. You know, but the real things that they don't want out there, they keep behind closed doors or they keep hidden. That's why the Lord said he reveals to us these mysteries in the scriptures, you know. Now, this is, I just want to read this real quick. This is the book of Colossians, the 2nd chapter. And Colossians chapter 2, just bear with me 1 second. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Because there's a lot of this stuff is just based off of philosophy, based off of deceit, cunningly devised fables, things that were passed down from generation to generation. Babylonian, Egyptian, Assyrian, Greco-Roman, Middle Persian, Roman, so on and so forth down the line. They were just different things that were passed on from one point to another. Now, you know, we're going to go into this it was actually a poem called the Enuma Elish. You know, now that whole thing is basically supposedly it's a story depicting creation. But when you read that stuff, it's bugged out.
Yeah, that's like a script from a damn sci-fi movie, man. And then this guy Polite, he had mentioned the Enuma Elish, and he also mentioned the Epic of Gilgamesh. All right, and like I said earlier, they mention those books because it makes a nigga stop. Yo, this nigga's deep. Well, if you mention something, we're gonna look it up. Just like I asked Polite and Sarnetta, they were talking about, hey, y'all getting on Africans. Why don't y'all like Africans? I said, because they're not our people, man. Well, how can you prove that? And I said, well, wait a minute. You guys say that you're so much into the Egyptians or the Kemet, all right, and ways. I said, where are they now? And it's on our video. Y'all didn't put it up. It's on our video. There was like a silence for about a good 30 seconds. Y'all just stopped. And y'all looked at each other. And then Polite thought quick. He said, well, I got to make a comeback. He said, well, they're all over the place. I said, where? Where are they? Where are they? Oh, you said they're scattered all over the place. Can you identify them? Where are they? Show me one of them. And I proceeded to tell you that the descendants of the Egyptians, the so-called original Egyptians or the Kemet people, Mizraim, are the Sudanese, the Zulus, and the Watusi. And I said, why? Because just like you dig up China. Let's say China's buried by a volcano. All right? And, 1,000 years later, you dig up everything and you see, carvings on the wall, and you can clearly see that they had round heads and slanted eyes. Now, if a white man from Germany, a damn cracker, blue-eyed cracker, with a straight face and round eyes, come and say, I'm one of those people, what are you going to say? He said, that's bullshit. Now, if you get a person that has a round head and slanty eyes and a flat face, you would have to say, well, this would have to be one of the descendants of these people. Right. Because you know what? You go by what a person looks like now and go by what the people look back 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years ago, and you say these might be the people. Like going to Sarasut and Seti, you look nothing like an Egyptian, man. You look nothing like an Egyptian, man. The Egyptians were dark, super dark, and they were super tall. I'm talking about 8, 9, 10 feet tall. So y'all are all over the place, man. And we were the first ones, or we are the first ones to really, everything that you said, every name that you mentioned, every book that you go into, we're going to go into it, and we're going to delve into it and find out if those things are so. We already know that they're not so, but for argument's sake, we're going to go into it, man. So that's going into your foundation. A lot of them people that are following your asses, they're going to start following us. They're going to start waking up to the fact that they're Israelites, man. And they've been scammed by you guys, man. You guys are done. And everybody's waiting. Most people that put comments on YouTube concerning y'all, they say you guys are scam artists, man. That you all about money, man. The reason why you want to have them debates is to get a big hype, and to get a whole lot of people to come watch that shit and buy DVDs and buy more books from you. And that's all right. If that's the way you make money, that's the way you make money. Because when Sarnetta came down and he spoke to me, he said, I'll give you $1,500 to be in a debate with Sarasut and Seti as a donation. Then I said, well, look, we ain't into the debates. You want a debate? You come right down here. You know where we at. We're on 34th Street and 7th Avenue, right? Then he slipped down to the camp down the street, and it's on video. So don't say you didn't say it. And you went to a car, and then it went from $1,500 to $2,000. Look, I'll give you $2,000. Why would you want it? Why are you so concerned about giving us $2,000, $1,500? Why would you come out your pocket like that? Because you stand to make. You might make $20,000 or more. But like I said, if that's your hustle, that's your hustle. Everybody got to hustle, man. You know? I'm just not going to be part of your hustle.
This is 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushai, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. And that's our job, man. Our job is to go out there and break these strongholds down, and then turn you Israelites back to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right now, all of you are not going to get it, just the elect. But it's still our job to go out there and tell you whether you hear or whether you forbear. All right, this is Colossians 2:8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahushai. Because that's what you're doing. This is after the rudiments of the world, after the tradition of men. Because these things are set up by the so-called white man. You had the philosopher Voltaire. He said, our history is a lie commonly agreed upon. So now, if these people are in power now, why would they allow why would they allow the truth to be out there? They're going to put stuff out there that's going to confuse the people so that people don't wake up. Because if the people wake up to who they really are, then by process of elimination, they'll find out that these devils are Esau or the Edomites, you know? And then you said, don't you think the white man would, without fear of that, he said, don't you think the white man would put black faces in the Bible to make you feel better? No, the purpose of having slaves is to make them feel inferior so that you can keep them in slavery. Okay? And if they put color in there to so-called make black people feel better, then they wouldn't be able to push the lie of the white Jesus.
Why in the hell would they want them to make them feel better, man? They had the whip, man. They had the whip and they had the gun. That's what Willie Lynch was all about, man. You didn't go out there and work. They hung your ass up and gave you 100 lashes, man. They showed you that in the movie 12 Years a Slave, man. I see why they had them jakes in order, man. Because if you went off, they'd hang your ass up and whip your ass good, man. Right, and the dude said, that's scripture. Give me a damn break. The white man's going to write the book and say, well, let me say that this guy's black and the Jews are black. So when they, and furthermore, a nigga in slavery wasn't allowed to read, man. And especially the Bible. So the Bible didn't, the slave master did not give the slaves a Bible, man. And you know what? We deal with prophecy. Now, does any of your so-called pharaohs, did they have prophets back then? Because if they had prophets back then, or the ancient people of Kemet, or the Kemetic people, if they believed in prophecy, then they can show in those books why the so-called black man was brought in this condition. You know? Anyway, I want to go to something because Brother Polite had mentioned, he had mentioned that in the that there's ancient gods that are written in the Bible. And so I said, give me an example. And he said, if you go to Ezekiel 8:14, Tammuz. And he said, Tammuz is a Sumerian deity, right? And then he said, see, that shows you that there was ancient deities in there. Now, you know what it proved? It proved that the Bible is correct. Because the Bible mentioned Tammuz, which wicked Israelites, worship. And they were going off. Now, I looked up the scripture, and then I looked up the word Tammuz. Now, who was weeping? Who was weeping for Tammuz? Women, right? Yeah. I'm going to tell you why they were weeping for Tammuz. I'm going to read the scripture, Ezekiel 8:14. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north. And behold, there sat women, Israelite women, as you said, weeping for Tammuz. Now, let's look up Tammuz. Okay. And give me that in the, look it up. I'm going to go to the blue letter first. See something? Bear with me for 1 minute. Okay, somebody speak.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You got something?
No, I was going to remark.
All right. Yeah. So
I got it. Tammuz, right? Which is H 8542. Okay, let me go down. Okay, Tammuz. Let me read in the Hebrew. The Hebrew word is Tamawaz. Tamawaz, sprout of life, a Sumerian deity of food or vegetation. So that's why the women were weeping, because they wanted to eat. Yeah. You know, you starving, man. You be willing to worship any god to get some food. There you go.
It says in the lexicon, it says Adonis of the Greeks. So when the Greeks came in on the scene, they worshiped Tammuz in the form of Adonis. Yep. Adonis of the Greeks, worshiped also by the Hebrew women, with lamentations.
Yeah, because that's all these different empires did. They just adopted the gods of the previous people that they conquered. You know, they may have had their own gods, but then they added to their gods. And basically, it's all the same story. You know, it's all the same thing. When you look up Zeus, and when you look up Jupiter, and when you look up Adonis, or you look up Osiris, or you look up this guy, and you look up that guy, all the stories match up, and they're all pretty much the same. It all goes back to the mythology or the myth of men that put these things together in the past, you know, and they worship the different stars in the heavens, the different solar system, or the sun, and different things that they saw according to these different gods. Because you had gods of agriculture, you had gods of fertility, you know, you had all these different gods, and the scriptures say that all the gods of the nations are idols.
Gods of the waters.
Yeah, gods of the waters. Yep, like Neptune, you know. This is Deuteronomy 32, and start at 15. But Jeshurun waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook the power which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. They provoke him to jealousy with strange gods. And that's the point, that Israel was worshiping these strange gods. It says, with abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten the Most High that formed thee. That's why the Lord allowed all these things to happen. Because Israel was worshiping anything that came up new, they were worshiping it. You know, you had Tammuz in the ancient. Then you had new gods that were coming up that these different nations were worshiping. And what did they do? They just took on that and started worshiping it. You know?
Scripture for you. This is found in the book of Judges 10 and 12 to 14. It says, the Zidonians also and the Amalekites and the Maonites did oppress you. And ye cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand, speaking to you Israelites. Yet ye have forsaken me, like you have done now, and served other gods. The main god you're serving right now is Caesar Borgia. All right? And you'll see the picture of that so-called god. Wherefore I will deliver you, and also, since we're talking about Egyptology, that's another god that you simple-minded Negroes, you tribes are worshiping, especially you simple-minded Negroes. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen, because the time of martial law is coming. The hour of martial law is coming, all right, when it's going to be declared all across America. And then you're going to see the time of trouble that the book of Jeremiah 30 and 7 speaks about. So the Lord said, go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
Now we're going to get into the Enuma Elish. Okay? I'm looking up the word Marduk. Now, Marduk is one of the main characters in the Enuma Elish. Okay? Dealing with the creation of the universe, which is basically a script for a Hollywood movie. Your sci-fi movie, fantasy movie. This is a wall release of Marduk. And by the way, in the Bible, if you look up that word in the Bible, Marduk, it's not going to come up. What you got to look for is Merodach, which is another way of saying Marduk. All right? It says Marduk, sun god of Babylon, with his thunderbolts, pursues Anzu after Anzu stole the tablets of destiny. This guy now Anzu ain't nothing but a goddamn griffin, man. Right. Ain't nothing but a goddamn. That sounds like Greek mythology, man. This is all over the goddamn place, man. Like I said, that's how you get them niggas, because a nigga don't study, man. They don't go and research. And it takes time to study, man. And then you niggas in Israel ain't shit either, man. You got guys in GMS that ain't shit.
Yeah, that's right, brother.
Because anything we going deep into or something new, then you guys all of a sudden come up with it, man. And you think you're on our level, man? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to get rid of a lot of you niggas that's in GMS that ain't right, man. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to kill General Yohana, man. And fucking Comfy. And any of you guys that ain't following what we're teaching, because we're the only ones that have the truth. Nobody else. Through the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Most High getting ready to do damage on our people, man. You saw what happened over there in the Philippines. That ain't nothing but a walk in the park compared to what the Most High gonna do to you over here in America, man. You niggas think everything is a goddamn joke. It ain't gonna be a joke when the Most High put hell on you, man. The Most High is getting ready to take this damn place out. And another thing, man. Let's say we never follow what those guys are teaching about Africanism and Egyptology and Kemet and all that. What's going to happen to us? Do y'all speak about an ending of the world? An ending of the white man's world? Polite said the white man's not the devil. How the hell are you going to follow him, man? And then these guys made a big deal saying that we like to rape little girls. Nigga, your master is locked up. And he was charged with child molestation, man. Several counts of child molestation. Why don't you talk about that, man? And we're going to stay on you guys. We're going to bring out anything you come with, any book that you come with, we're going to go to the foundation of it, and we're going to show you that the foundation, there's no foundation, man. It doesn't, that bullshit, those books that you bring out, the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is contemporary with Abraham, man. Oh, it was written 10,000 years before Moses came. That's bullshit.
Even the scholars can't agree on dates. You know,
we fighting about dates.
That's right.
Like the Epic of Gilgamesh, they said that it's dated anywhere between 1800 BC or BCE and 2200 BCE. That's about 400 years. Okay? And then you're going to talk about this carbon dating 14, and carbon dating, they have proved, man, because what you do is when you create something, you test it. You constantly test it to see if it holds up. You know, the acid test, so to speak. Well, numerous scientists have, tested the carbon dating 14 as well as other forms of dating, and they found that, that they're not always accurate, man. Then they said if they use carbon dating on anything prior to the flood, that it wouldn't be accurate at all, because if something is immersed in water, it throws it all off, man. And then you can take something and it might say one date, then you check out a different form of dating, it'll say another date. So what they do is they average it out. They're playing a guessing game. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, and what they do too is they test it 5 or 6, 7 different times until they come up with the desired date that they want. In order for them really to date an artifact or whatever, or relic, it has to be preserved, encased or enclosed in something that no water gets to, no air gets to, no dust gets to, no animals, insects, or anything gets to.
That's why most of the things in these museums are enclosed in glass.
That's right.
And then they'll tell you can take a picture, but don't use a flash, because that changes the dating on it, man.
Don't touch it.
And that changes the carbon 14 within that relic. And then don't touch it, and they keep it in the dark. So these devils know what the hell they're doing.
I got the scripture for you. Quick scripture. Ecclesiastes 7:29. It says, "Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions."
That's right. Sought out many inventions.
That Egyptology, that's an invention of the so-called white man.
Yeah. Hey, in the scripture, matter of fact, since you read that, I'll read this one in Job to further back that up. This is Job chapter 13, verse 4. It says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. So basically that's what the white man is. He's a forger of lies. You know? He'll say the earth is billions of years old. And then you Brother Polite, you talking about carbon dating, that it's accurate, and then you try to compare it to the rings around a tree. Show me a goddamn tree out there that has billions of rings around it, or millions of rings around it, to prove that the earth or whatever is billions and millions of years old. You ain't gonna do it. You know why? Because there's no such thing.
And to back you up, even the California redwood trees,
right,
which are some of the world's oldest trees, you ain't going to find billions of rings if that tree were to be cut down, man.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, there is a form of dating through a tree. When you cut it down, you can count it. But yeah, but that's that's just for trees, okay? That's all.
You know, yeah, and you're not gonna find no tree when you cut it down that you can count the rings and you'll see a billion rings or a million rings.
Well, a billion rings ain't gonna be on the tree.
That's right.
The tree ain't that old anyway.
That's right. Because that shows you that how old the earth is just based off of those trees.
And also to back you up, even this guy was revered when he was alive, Eustace Mullins, which is one of the top researchers when he was alive. He was asked the question, how far does his research go back to?
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Right? And he said about 5,000 years.
Yep. That's right.
And then he said that he equated that to the Library of Congress.
Yep.
So that's another invention, that the earth is billions and billions of years old. And that's just to give the so-called white man a buffer, because they know their history. They were up there in the caves. Oh, yeah, we were up there in the caves, but that was billions and billions of years old. We've evolved, you know. That gives them the buffer for the excuse, you know.
And then the Library of Congress is nothing more than a modern-day Library of Alexandria, Egypt. You know, that's basically all it is.
Yeah, that whole concept of libraries go back to Alexander. In the library in Alexandria, Egypt, man. That was a beautiful concept, man. To take all the people that you conquered, take all their records. Okay? Now, I want to read this and we're going to get into the Enuma Elish, but one of the central characters of the Enuma Elish is a man by the name of Marduk, right? Which he's mentioned in the Bible, which gives credence to the Bible, because the Bible's mentioned, the Bible mentioned Tammuz, the Bible mentioned Marduk or Merodach, or the Bible mentioned Dagon, which is a god of the Philistines, which are Egyptian, which goes back to the Egyptians, or actually goes back to Mizraim. And it says this, it says Jeremiah 50:1. It says the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophets. Just like we, the prophets, are speaking against the new Babylon or the daughter of Babylon. And we're telling the people out there on the street corner that this place is getting ready to go down. And it is going to come down by way of fire. And it says, the second verse, declare ye among the nations. And that's what we do. When we go out on the corner, you have Chinese that walk by, so-called Chinese, so-called white people, so-called African people, so-called East Indians, Ishmaelites, which are Arabs, and so forth, and our people. So we're speaking to the nations. It says, declare ye among the nations, and publish. The word publish means to give to the public. And set up a standard. What's the standard? The Bible. Publish and conceal not. So it's not about to hide the truth. It's our job to shout it on the mountaintop, so to speak. Say, Babylon is taken. Ancient Babylon is taken. Just like modern Babylon going to be taken. Or the daughter of Babylon, which is America. Bel, another Semitic Babylonian deity, is confounded. Merodach, which is Marduk, like I said, he's mentioned in the what's it? Enuma. I'm sorry, Enuma Elish. This is a tongue twister to me. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. The third verse. For out of the north, which is Russia, there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. Now we know that that's not talking about ancient Iraq, because there's people that are living in Iraq today. And Iraq was ancient Babylon. That's where most of those gods came from. I'm going to read it again. The third verse. Jeremiah 50:3. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. What does that mean? When you go back to the splitting of the two kingdoms, all right, and I want you to get me 2 Kings 17. The splitting of the two kingdoms, them two kingdoms are going to come back together. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And they're already back together. That's why I'm sitting before you, all right, of the kingdom of Judah. The man next to me is of the kingdom of Israel, all right, or the northern kingdom. And I will be from the southern kingdom. That's why you have so-called Puerto Ricans, Ephraim, so-called Mexicans, Issachar, and so forth. Okay? And then what you didn't understand, Polite, you quoting scriptures like you're going to confound us, and you don't even know the scriptures, man.
This is 2 Kings 17. Let me start at the top.
No. Start at the verse that he likes.
Okay, verse 18. It says, therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
Now, the word there should have been the kingdom of Judah or the northern kingdom, because the ones that remained was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's why when the Messiah came on the scene, Yahushua, when he came on the scene, who did he gather? Who did he teach? He taught among Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, because that was the southern kingdom. So the word tribe there shouldn't be there. Go ahead, Doc.
It says, also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of spoilers.
Right, and I ask you, who are the spoilers? And you use that scripture to say that the Lord did away with all Israel. And that's that old shit that Dr. York brought out. The guy with the 75 names. The guy that's locked up right now because he had several counts of child molestation. That guy. The guy that was visited by 3 gentle aliens from the star system of Zeta Ractuli. And I forget, and he was one of his names was the green one. Oh, one of the visitors was named, I think his name was Krill. Krill from the star system, Reticuli, Zeta Reticuli. Come on, man.
If I may say that, please, Elder. Hey, but you're going to have a problem with us believing that a giant fish can swallow a man, but you're going to believe this bullshit, man?
Yeah, I can't believe that. I just can't conceive that in my mind. You see it right there. There's 2 accounts of men that were swallowed by whales. Oh, and I looked up the word whale in the Hebrew. And then when you go into the New Testament, what is that? Matthew's 12 and I believe, is it 40? I know it's Matthew's 12. I'll bring it up.
12 and 40, yeah.
12 and 40, right?
Yeah, Jonah, yeah.
When you look up that word, well, you know what the word there is? It's a Greek word, and the word goes back to sea monster.
Yeah, which could be Leviathan.
And that's why that day I kept yelling out, Job 41, Job 41, Job 41. Right. I said it a bunch of times, man.
Right. And I had, and to testify, I had the scripture, I had it ready to go, but there was so much confusion.
Yeah, because the demons, hey, we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
Yeah.
And then you said, you almost had me. Y'all almost had me.
Yeah.
Until that fish thing came up. Well, guess what? We got the scientific, we got the accounts of men that were swallowed by whales, if you want to call it a whale, because we, like I said, the word said fish in the Old Testament, which I believe the actual word was dagon, and then in the Greek, the word for whale is really sea monster. It translates into sea monster, so that would have to be Leviathan, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis, the first chapter, the Apocrypha speak about the. Matter of fact, give me that in the Apocrypha.
It says great moving whales.
Yep,
in the first chapter, Genesis.
You know what I want in the Apocrypha, right? No. When it speaks about Leviathan, Leviathan had 7 parts.
So the translators, when they translated for them to give you the image of a giant fish, they just put the word whale there.
Yeah, I mean that lost in translation. You know?
Lost in translation.
But like I said, when you go to the actual Greek in the New Testament, that's why Nate. That's why you got to know the Hebrew and the Greek, man.
That's right.
All right.
Notice
I'll find it if you can't find it.
Notice Polite and those guys. They didn't even
I think it's like 7. The second Ezra is 7. Right. Yep. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 47. Upon the 5th day thou saidest unto the
5th day of creation. Okay? Would you believe that in Numa Elish that this one God took another God and split it in half and made one half of the body? We'll go back in the story. One half of the body, the heavens, and the other half, the earth, and all this bull. That's complete. How can you believe that bullshit, man? But you can't accept the story of a man being swallowed by a fish. Wow. Go ahead.
Upon the 5th day thou saidest unto the 7th part, where the waters were gathered, that it should bring forth living creatures, fowls and fishes, and so it came to pass. For the dumb water and without life brought forth living things at the commandment of the Most High, that all people might praise thy wondrous works. Then didst thou ordain 2 living creatures, the one thou callest Enoch, and the other Leviathan.
Enoch means learned one. Loosely translated, it means learned one. When you go into the genealogy of Adam, the sons after him, Noah was mentioned, and Enoch, Methuselah was mentioned, and Enoch was mentioned. And the word Enoch, the special thing about Enoch was he didn't even get old and die. There was a certain age that the Most High beamed him right up into the heavens, man, and translated him. You know, like beam me up, Scotty? The Most High beamed him up. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, and did it separate the one from the other?
Right. Did it separate man from the other? Go ahead.
For the 7th part, namely where the water was gathered together, might not hold them both. Unto Enoch thou gavest 1 part, which was dried up the 3rd day, that he should dwell in the same part wherein are 1,000 hills. But unto Leviathan thou gavest the 7th part, namely the moist, and has kept him to be devoured, of whom thou wilt and when. Upon the 6th...
In other words, you know, when you go back to Greek mythology, right, and Zeus says summon the Kraken, well, Zeus is really the Most High. That's the Israelites that were Hellenized and came up with those concepts because Zeus never existed. Kronos, his father, never existed. All right? Kronos was known for eating his babies. And Zeus was saved by his father before his father could eat him. You know, that's all bullshit, man. It's cunningly devised fables, man. Like when you go out to the Vatican City, they have a statue of him down on the throne, and you notice he's a black man. He has woolly hair and a woolly beard and black features in his face with a halo over his head. That ain't Peter, man. That's Zeus. And then you have the so-called different disciples around the facade. That goes back to the Greeks, which is known as the pantheons, which means all gods. Okay, go ahead.
Right. It says
Just tell it like it is.
it says
I
upon
call it as I see it, man. I'm not gonna make up. I'm not gonna believe in fairy tales, man.
upon the 6th day thou gavest commandment unto the earth, and before thee it should bring forth beasts, cattle, and creeping things. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle.
That's why we don't give a damn about the Africans, man. And another thing about you guys, since you so into respecting, you demand that people respect the Africans. Ain't none of you guys, you have your debates, you get together. I ain't never seen I seen one African and Nigerian dude with the big muscles. But he's one of us anyway. He's Nigerian, I believe. You know, he don't know nothing. But then y'all down there in Harlem, I don't know how many hundreds and thousands or millions of Africans have born in Africa, moved to this country, is rubbing shoulders or rubbing elbows with Jake over here. Which they're not, man. And you guys ain't going out there seeking for them, man. And they ain't seeking after you. Shouldn't there be some type of kindred spirit? Aren't they more pure than you? Shouldn't they be the ones speaking and you be the guys in the audience? That proves that those people over there from Africa are not your people, man.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we, thy people, whom thou hast...
And as of right now, it's Esau, the so-called white man. Those are the Edomites. Go ahead.
But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long?
Because we're not going to the seminars of Brother Polite, so he can uplift us, so we can buy land for 21. Yeah, Thomas Hobbes wrote a book called The Leviathan. He gonna teach you how to take 21 pieces of silver and go to a damn mansion somewhere in Atlanta that the bank owns and just take the shit over. That's why they arrested that dude, man. Go ahead.
How long shall this endure?
How long shall this bullshit endure, man? With this man ruling over us. The reason why this man is over us is because the Most High put him over us, man.
Right, that was it on that. But I just wanted to make mention of something, because this Enuma Elish, what it is something called theogony. That's what they call it, theogony. Now, theogony is supposed to be the genealogy of the gods, or the birth or creation of the gods. And that's what you guys believe in. And that's what that so-called Enuma Elish is supposed to go back to. You know? Now, the term Enuma Elish basically means when on high. And those are the first two words of the poem that they call today the Enuma Elish. You know, and now even with the Enuma Elish, they have a hard time finding out a date where this thing was written. Some say 7th century BC, some say 1100 BC, some say 1550 BC, 18th century, 16th century. So they can't come to any conclusive agreement. You know why? Because they're just at best speculating. You know, it's supposed to be 7 tablets upon which, you know, this Akkadian type of cuneiform was written on, you know, depicting, you know, the so-called creation of the beginning, you know, and all that. But you know what? All nations have that, because all nations were taught about the creation and the beginning, you know. and every nation has a story of the flood. You know, that's hence you got the Epic of Gilgamesh, you know, which came, you know, you had Noah that was prophesying for a period of anywhere from 100 to 120 years out there prophesying, you know, and then people heard him. Just because somebody jotted it down doesn't mean that they came up with it or that it was plagiarized from that, you know. So you people, you dudes, man, you know, you for guys that get into all type of information and look up all different types of words and can put these words together, you guys are very unskilled in research, man.
Yeah, well, that's 2 Timothy. Ever learning the 3rd chapter and 7th verse, never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
When you read that, it's really applying to women.
The women, right? But they're like
women. But you guys you get the women, man. Cause you put that bullshit in their head, and a woman is easy to get over on, man.
And they're like
that's why you see most black women and Latin women, they go into these damn colleges with the books. That's that college college status. Yeah, I'm a college girl. You know, you don't be seeing men going to goddamn real them faggots be going out there, man. But real men they go out there and get theirs, man.
That's right.
A nigga can have a 3rd grade education and then be driving around in a damn what's the newest, a Benz or whatever, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
On my back, man.
Well, that proves that
all you got to do is put some rhymes together, man, and you're gonna be a multi-millionaire, man.
That's it.
But how far did the nigga go in school? 3rd grade education. Yeah. But the nigga got money, man. He got the cracker working for him.
Right.
So what does a damn woman do, man? Women don't know nothing, man. You putting a woman up like she's a god. The only reason why the Most High set up a woman is for your pleasure, man.
That's it.
and to bear your children, man.
That's it.
And that's why that song was sung. She's your queen to be.
Yeah, cut.
To quench your royal fire.
That's it.
That's
her purpose.
Completely free of infection to be used at your discretion.
Yeah. That ain't these women today. They ain't completely free.
And then Eddie, that faggot, he gonna turn the woman down. This chick was fine as hell. Right. He said, what do you like? Whatever you like. And then whatever food you like. And he wanted to go to fucking Queens and get some more ghetto gagger from Queens and marry this bitch, man. Come on.
You were reading
hey, that shit is funny, man. When we go into research and all this stuff, man, we crack up, man. We crack up, man. And you know what, man? You guys ain't never coming. I'll be surprised as hell if you guys ever come back down to 34th Street, man.
God.
Then you had your woman, the Bothling Glen woman. They made a video. The Hebrew Israelites, we're going to go into why they like to eat their babies and have sex with their babies. What kind of bullshit is that, man?
Oh, man.
And that's why a lot of these people that followed y'all, they're coming to our sites now. Mm-hmm. They're coming to our sites and they're thinking. They're slowing down and they're thinking. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys should have stayed in Harlem with that Harlem hustle. You know, where should have stayed on the corner with your little hustle, you know, making that money, and you try to get greedy and you know now.
Yeah, you should have swam with the goldfish, man. Now you coming around messing with the sharks. What the hell you think? You a guppy messing with a damn shark, man. What you think gonna happen?
You're shark food. You're gonna be shark.
You ain't nothing but shark food, man. You guys are lightweights. You cannot deal with a professor. You're the student. And that's what Azuma Nelson, a great Hamitic boxer, he used to fight guys that said, you cannot teach the professor.
Yeah.
I will teach you.
That's right.
This is our 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babbling and oppositions of science falsely so called. And why did it say opposition of science? Because you have this science out here, scientific stuff that tries to debunk the Bible, goes against the Bible. So it's an opposition, and it's falsely so called. Why? Because the majority of it is based off of theory. It's based off of speculation.
Yep.
You know, it's based off of a room of different guys that are called professionals sitting around debating about what date should be put on this or what should this be
Devils.
called or whatever.
Yeah, a room full of devils.
Yeah.
And in most cases, a so-called Jew.
And that's the main spearhead behind it, the so-called Jews. Are you guys talking
Synagogue
about
of
this
Satan.
carbon dating? Carbon dating wasn't invented until 1849, man.
Yeah.
You know? And prior to that, it wasn't...
Was it 1949?
was it? It was prior to 1949, yeah. And prior to that, in the 1830s, that's when they first started teaching in the schools that the Earth was old, millions of years old. Why? Because they were setting the stage for their carbon dating and their evolution theory and all that crap, man. You know?
Yeah, I want to read this, right? This is Ecclesiastes in the Bible. The 12th chapter and the 10th verse on down. It says, the preacher, which is Solomon, King Solomon, sought to find out acceptable words. Okay? Sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright. And that's what we're doing. We're doing what King Solomon did. He's searching out these words and he's seeing if this thing is right or if this thing is going off. You know? It says, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. 11. The words of the wise are as golds, and as nails fastened by the masses of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. So it's going to be found out that we are the true men of the Most High, right? 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Now, the reason why I read that, the key point is in the 12th verse. Then further by these, my son, be admonished. All right? That's a stiff warning. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. What I notice about you guys, when you have your pre-debates and all that, you'll have it at a bookstore with all kind of books all over the place, man. And then what you guys do, that's another part of your hustle. You get a woman, she'll get this book. She'll spend $150 on books, read them daggone books, and get more confused as if she never read them books at all, man. That's why your wife said what she said about the baffling gland. What book did she get that out of, man? Is she a scientist or a doctor? And we have doctors in GMS, brother. You didn't know that? We got actual doctors that are down in GMS, man. That are down with GMS. That teach and all that, man. And we just beginning to get on y'all, man. We're gonna ride y'all until the wheels fall off, man. Okay? Every week we're going to have some. We're going to go into anything new that we get. We're going to ride you, man. We're going to ride you, and we're going to question you. And if you happen to come down to 34th Street, we're going to come with the same spirit that we did. We're going to give you a hug. How you doing? Let's get into it, man. Ding, ding. All right? And Sarah Suden said, you better watch out for that brother that you debating, because I was watching that brother on some of the videos, and that brother knows his history, man. That brother knows his history. The brother looked just like Marshall's son, oldest son. I'm looking at him, I said, this brother look like so-and-so. You know? And that brother knows his history. I had to take my hat off to the brother. The brother knows that history, man.
I got the carbon dating for you. Yeah. It says radiocarbon dating, or simply carbon dating, is a radiometric dating technique that uses the decay of carbon-14. Carbon dating was presented to the world by Willard Libby in 1949.
Yeah, 1949, not 1849. I said 1849. It's 1949.
Yeah, for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Now, I clicked on this character, Willard Libby. Is he going to be a so-called black man? There he is, right?
Howdy doody.
This guy looked like Wally Cox. You know, the actor Wally Cox.
Yeah, he was the voice for Underdog.
Now, do you know, I found out something about Wally Cox. This guy was a homosexual. One of his lovers was Marlon Brando. And when Wally Cox died,
Hey, so fuck Marlon Brando and Wally Cox.
Yeah. When Wally Cox died, Marlon Brando kept his ashes in a jar. Even fought over his wife for the ashes.
That's why that motherfucker, man. Marlon, you motherfucker. The Godfather, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, that's why your motherfucking ass, that's why you got so goddamn fat that they had to chain up and lock up the damn refrigerator, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Because you had problems, my man.
He had problems, man. But anyway, the point is, this guy Polite pulled out the ace card of, or what he perceived as the ace card of carbon dating, and look who was attributed to. A straight up cractified cracker. You're going to see the picture, man.
A cracktified, sanctified cracker.
All right? A real cracker.
Certified devil.
A certified devil. All right? Willard Libby, and I'm willing to bet that last name Libby is a so-called Jew. All right? And he received the Nobel Peace Prize for it. But you'll see the picture. So, Polite, you're talking about we got the knowledge of the Bible from the so-called white man. You pulled out that carbon dating crap. That goes back to the so-called white man. And you'll see the picture.
Hey, Polite, before you came down to 34th Street, you should have listened to that song by, what's the name of that group? The Chili and Left Eye. What's the name of it? TLC, Tender Love and Care. And that song, the song that you should have listened to was Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Okay? Because you are in over your head, my man. You are in deep waters, man. You are in deep waters. Okay? And just like Mayweather and other boxers said, they said, how you going to fight this guy? He said, I'm going to take him in the deep waters, then I'm going to drown him. Meaning, I'm going to give him a boxing lesson, then I'm going to knock his ass out. So that's what's happening to you. You being drowned, man. That's why you were befuddled down there in front of us, man.
Yeah. Oh, I found out something for you. Elder Tar, back in the day, used to go into the law of fives. And I'm pretty sure it's refreshed in your memory. Marduk, which is the central character of the Enuma Elish, is part of the law of fives. It's under... You have the first, Adam Weishaupt spoke about the law of fives. The first one is chaos. This is how to control a society.
Because that's how this. They say that the universe was created through chaos. Mm-hmm. Because there's a saying among the illuminated insiders, auto ab chaos, right? Mm-hmm. Order out of chaos. When things get chaotic, there's a point where it has to stop, and you have to bring in the people to bring in order.
That's right.
So Esau is coming to a chaotic time now. Mm-hmm. So the Most High going to use us to bring things back in order.
Yep.
Not you, Polite. Not you, Cyrus Suit and Seti. Not none of you guys. Mm-hmm. We the guys. Believe it or not, we the guys. We are the men of the Lord.
Yeah, so the first one is chaos. Now, the second one is discord. And it says discord, and they define it, where a ruling class emerges and seizes control. Weishaupt related this period to the introduction of the worship of Marduk and Osiris.
So, yeah, and Elder... I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was saying the reference of Marduk. You know, it's funny how he would mention the Enuma Elish, because that's one of the gods.
Characters, yep.
Yeah, that right.
Yep. And Elder Tar earlier mentioned Merodach in the scriptures. This is the scripture here, Jeremiah 51:2. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble, I'm sorry, that's 51:2. It's 50:2. It says, declare ye among the nations and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say Babylon is taken. Bel is confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. Now I looked up that word Merodach in the Hebrew, which goes back to the word Maradak, which means Merodach, thy rebellion, the chief deity of the Babylonians in the time of Nebuchadnezzar. And as you scroll down, it says, of an idol of Babylonians, probably the planet Mars, which like Saturn was regarded by the ancient Shemites as the author of bloodshed and slaughter and was propitiated with human victims. So basically, Merodach, which is supposed to be the chief of the gods, was really said to have been Mars, which Mars is supposed to be the god of war. You know, that's why they equated Merodach with slaughter and bloodshed. You know, because he's supposed to be depicted as a god of war. So, you know, all this stuff that you know, you guys laugh at us because we believe that a great fish swallowed a man, you know, which could have been Leviathan. You know, but the stuff that you guys go into is extreme madness.
Yeah, this is an appropriately named site called Reasons to Believe. To believe in what? The Bible. It says A Modern Jonah, all right, by Edward B. Davis. Now, this is dated December 1st, 1991. A sailor swallowed by a whale proclaimed the tract that fell out of the Winnoa Echoes, an old volume on my shelf. The tract recounted the following remarkable story. The whaling ship Star of the East was in the vicinity of the Falkland Islands searching for whales, which was very scarce. One morning, the lookout sighted a whale about 3 miles away on the starboard quarter. 2 boats were manned. In a short time, one of the boats was near enough to enable the harpooner to send a spear into the whale, which proved to be an exceedingly large one. The whale bare about with its tail in the maddest fashion. The boats attempted to get beyond the reach of the animal, which was apparently in its death agonies, and one of them succeeded, but the other was less fortunate. The whale struck it with his nose and upset it. The men were thrown into the water, and before the crew of another boat could pick them up, one man drowned, and James Bartley had disappeared. When the whale became quiet from exhaustion, the waters were searched for Bartley, but he could not be found. And under the impression that he had been struck by the whale's tail and sunk to the bottom, the survivors rowed back to the ship. The whale was dead, and in a few hours the great body was lying by the ship's side, and the men were busy with axes and spades cutting through the flesh to secure the fat. They worked all day and part of the night. They resumed operations the next forenoon and were soon down to the stomach. The workmen were startled while laboring to clear it to discover something doubled up in that gave spasmodic signs that gave spasmodic signs of life. The vast pouch was cut open, and inside was found the missing sailor, doubled up and unconscious. He was laid out on the deck and treated to a bath of seawater, which soon revived him. That was James Bartley. He was inside of the whale. He was swallowed by the whale.
And there's another story.
Yep.
Put up on the thing. You read parts of that too.
Yep. Is the story of Jonah a whale of a tale, or is it scientifically plausible? Can a man survive in the belly of a whale? For many years, people have scoffed at the biblical story of Jonah. Yeah, like Polite. He scoffed at it. Skeptics have likened it to a fable, saying it is impossible. This page will examine the scientific plausibility of the book of Jonah. One of the arguments often used is that the belly of a whale is too small to hold a man. And that's the same thing that Polite said. He said that that a whale can swallow nothing no bigger than an orange. The same place his wife got the buffalo. They shop at the same store, you know. It says the belly of a whale is too small to hold a man. Therefore, the Bible cannot be trusted. I have researched this claim and found it to be false. Not only is a whale's belly large enough to hold a man inside.
By the way, this is the white man speaking, which is your God.
Yeah.
Because all the stuff that you got it from the white man.
Got it from the white man. I will add dimensions and possible ways of survival soon. But many accounts similar to the biblical account of Jonah have been recorded in recent years. Though these documented cases shed some light on the story's credibility, the Bible account is a miraculous one. And we must remember to trust the Bible first and foremost, even if no other evidence supporting it exists. Was Jonah swallowed by a whale or by a fish? Some people claim that there is a contradiction in the Bible because the Old Testament calls the creature that swallowed Jonah a great fish, while the New Testament calls it a whale. This is not a contradiction. Matthew 12:40 says that the creature is a whale, but the original Greek from which it was translated calls it a sea monster. The alleged contradiction is nothing more than a different word chosen for the English translation. That's all it is. So which is it, a whale or a fish? Nothing in the biblical account demands that the creature be a whale. It could have been an extinct marine reptile or any one of the thousands of species of marine life that has gone extinct in the last few thousand years. It may have even been a fish. You may think to yourself, but fish don't get that big. If you believe that, you should visit more museums. I recall staring in amazement at the Ann Arbor Museum of Natural History as I stood next to a fossil skull of a fish named the Duncleoteus. And then you'll see a picture of this fish.
Is there any dimensions on that fish?
It says the Duncleoteus. This skull was about 3.5 feet tall. Its body length would be incredible. This huge fish would be a fright to anyone who saw it. Its mouth hung open. It was more than big enough to swallow me. The image of the skull above is from a Cleveland Museum specimen. This is smaller than the one in Ann Arbor. The largest Duncleoteus skull is about 4 feet high. I am not saying that this was for sure the fish that swallowed Jonah. I am merely saying that fish like this did exist.
Right, and the Greek word for whale in Matthew 12:40 is ketos, and it says a sea monster, whale, huge fish. So,
shit. Should I keep reading or?
No, that's it.
We got the point. Yeah. So and the reason why
get that polite.
Yeah.
Are you beginning to become a believer now?
Have the days of darkness finally made you? And the reason why I mentioned Jonah is because, like I was saying, the moral of the story is if the Lord really wants you, He's going to get you. And Jonah was the case. So.
Go ahead,
yep. So that's it. So. The basis of the Bible, there's certain things that prove certain records and relics and stuff that they've dug up that prove that the scriptures are true. But the main basis of the scriptures is based off of faith. It's not based off of anything tangible, because if it was based off of something tangible, why did the Lord reprimand Thomas? He said, Thomas, because you've seen me and you've touched, my wounds, you believe. Blessed is he that have not seen and yet believeth. Because the Bible is based off of faith. That's why Paul went into a whole chapter, Hebrews 11, based off of faith, and he went into different examples of all our forefathers and prophets and different great men who were praised for having their faith.
Yeah, I got something for you. This is the account between Yahushua and Nicodemus. Now, Nicodemus was supposed to be a master in Israel. This is what Yahushua said to him. John 3:10. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Art thou a master of Israel, and knowest not these things? Verily, verily, I say unto you, we speak that we do know, and testify that we have seen, and ye receive not our witness. If I have told you of earthly things, and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? And this truth is primarily, the things that concern this truth is primarily heavenly. And it takes you have to have faith to believe it, man. Reading on, it says, And no man have ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man, which is in heaven. And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. So that's the bottom line. You have to have faith to believe in certain things that you'll have teach. And if you don't have that faith, then the Lord ain't dealing with you.
Yeah, Second, make sure, 2 Corinthians 3:15. But even unto this day, when meaning the Torah, the scriptures, the veil is upon their heart. So the veil is upon your heart, Polite, and Sarasut and Seti and Sarnetta, and anybody else out there that believes in something other than what we're teaching.
That's right. That's right.
I'm sorry, brother. This is the verse that I want to read. I guess I skipped it. Beginning at John 3 and 5, the same dialogue between Yahushua and Nicodemus. Yahushua answered, Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of the Heavenly Father, which is this knowledge. The Spirit meaning, born of the Spirit, meaning you have faith. The water is the truth, the knowledge. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. And that's us. We're born of the Spirit. That's why we believe certain things, concerning the scriptures, because we're born of the Spirit. And Polite, he calls that spookism. That's what he calls spookism. Reading on, it says, Marvel not that I said unto thee, you must be born again. The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but canst not tell whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. So is everyone that is born of the Spirit. So if you say you don't believe in something you can't see, then I guess you don't believe in the wind, Polite. You can't see it.
Well, he'll believe in the missiles when they come, because you'll be able to see them. You don't have to use carbon dating 14, or you don't got to look it up in the Enuma Elish or the Epic of Gilgamesh. All right. And we read through that. We did some research on the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Enuma Elish, and it's all bullshit, man. It's all crap. It's all nonsense. It doesn't mean anything, man.
That's right. It's what we went back to at the beginning of the lesson, Cunningly devised fables. Now, I looked up that word cunningly, and it's from the Greek word sophizo, which means to make wise, teach, to become wise, to have understanding, to invent, play the sophist, to devise cleverly or cunningly. And we looked up that word sophist is basically a person that can speak well and put words together, but really it's all empty, in so many words. Matter of fact, I'll read the definition again, because that fits you guys, man. It says, one skilled in elaborate and devious argumentation. And that's what it is. Basically, all you guys are doing, that whole debate thing, is just a devious argumentation. Empty rant. You can put words together, and say certain things, and the people will be like, oh, like wow, all amazed because of the way that you present it.
Yeah, empty rant. That's
because those people that go to your debates, they don't know what the hell's going on, man.
That's right.
If you wear a nice suit and you use big words that they don't understand, they're gonna say, yeah, that's the man. He won a debate. Like, for example, going back to your wife, the one that spoke about the bottling gland, and she said she said we don't need you men to have a baby. And then you hear the dumbass woman in the background saying, yeah, right, yeah, cackling like fucking hyenas, man. Like it's true, man. You got to be out. You would have to be out of your damn mind if I go and have one of them debates. And you said, and the key word you said, it's got to be in a controlled environment. What does that mean? You guys control it, man. That's why when you go on the street, it's a neutral environment, man. Where we're going to ask certain questions. No, you got to do a debate. Matter of fact, look up the word debate.
Yeah, and the guy that's supposedly the referee, Sutek, that's his name, I believe. He believes in what you guys believe in. He believes in that Egyptology. So how is he a referee? He's going to be partial to what you guys are saying.
Yeah, everything a true debate is everything is neutral. That's right. Everything is neutral.
Yeah, that's like this guy Sarnetta. That's Future from 8 Miles. The guy that was up on the stage.
That's exactly who he is.
That's Future, man. That's who he is. Basically you had two sides that want to battle each other, and he's the guy in the middle. And he said, okay, I'm going to give you a minute, and I'm going to give you a minute, and that's it.
Definition of debate, it says to consider something, deliberate, To engage in an argument by discussing. Yep, deliberate. To engage, isn't that something the jury does? Deliberation.
Yeah, that means you ponder on who's, you know.
Yeah. To engage in argument by discussing opposing points, which they ain't got no point. To engage in a formal discussion or argument.
It doesn't mean to ask certain questions.
Right.
You know? And then after the debate, well, he didn't ask me that question. Because what's the brother's name? The moderator. What's his name? Right. He's a moderator. In a debate, you have a moderator. You have a guy that referees both sides. And when you moderate something, you're controlling something, all right?
Right.
A debate is when you're going back and forth, man. You don't know what question's going to come at you. Like them presidential debates are a joke, man.
Right.
Those are softball questions thrown at him, man.
This is Jude 1 and 3. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints. It has nothing to do with a controlled environment. The word contend means to fight. You know, if you want to become the number one contender, you have to fight all the greats. You know, so that and when you get in the ring, there's rules, but you know, when you get in a debate, there's no rules there. You know, you can't be okay. You got to scrutinize this person's questions and that person's questions. That's a controlled environment. You know, which like Elder Charles said, you guys control that. You know.
I got a scripture for you. This is the book of 1 Timothy 1, beginning at the 4th verse. Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions, rather than righteous or godly edifying, which is in faith. So do. Now the end of the commandment is charity out of a pure heart and of a good conscience and of faith unfeigned, for which some, having swerved, have turned aside unto vain jangling. So that's what that debate is. Nothing but vain jangling.
Right, and it's vain because it's wicked.
Yeah, vanity. That's where you get the word vanity, which means evil. The Greek word for jangling.
Strong's G 3150, Mataialagia.
And it says vain talking, empty talk.
That's it.
When you listen to Polite and Cyrus Suit and Seti, that's all vain, man. It's all vain. It's empty talk. Doesn't lead to anything, man. They don't tell you where they came from, and they don't tell you where you're going. All right? And we're going to read this one scripture, and we're going to close it.
Ecclesiastes 10 and 14. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him?
That's it. And with that, we're going to say shalom.